all the various different political implications of what's going on in Egypt, in the country itself and around the world. Tell us more about the business impact.
Well, specifically within the country itself and the foreign companies who hitherto this moment have been operating in them, we're seeing some big names temporarily halting their production. General Motors, just one of the companies to say that it will see a temporary suspension, as I said. Kate Moody has the details.
Stores are shuttered in downtown Cairo. Banks and the stock market are closed. 3 major multinational companies, General Motors, Electrolux, and Shell, have temporarily suspended their operations in Egypt, a concrete sign of the immediate economic impact of this week's clashes.
I think that Egypt's current economic situation is on the brink. With regards to my job, there are a lot of factories, shops and traders who have been hit hard and still can't recover.
But the country's economy has been struggling since the overthrow of Hosni Mubarak in 2011. Badly needed economic reforms have not come to pass, and petrol prices have spiked. Official unemployment stands at 13%, though most analysts believe it's much higher, which doesn't help with the rising cost of living. Analysts say food inflation stands at around 20%, while tourism, one of the mainstays of Egypt's economy, has slumped.
Of course, tourism will be impacted for even a longer period. Even just normal economic activity, any hoped investment recovery and so on, of course, all this will be postponed.
Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates have offered about $12 billion in aid since Mohamed Morsi's ouster. But the IMF said on Thursday that it would put on hold talks about a possible $4.8 billion loan until the political situation is stabilized.
Now that unrest is having an impact on global oil prices too.
Yes, of course. So you can imagine that Egypt, with its strategic sort of location in the Middle East, does have an impact on oil prices. And in fact, in New York at the close yesterday, we saw the price per barrel hit a 2-week spike. So some real concerns that sort of just the import and export and the movement of oil might be sort of impacted on by the events in Egypt. While we're talking about general prices and stock markets, let's have a look at how Asia is faring today. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, I can tell you, for the Shanghai Composite. It was surging towards the 3% mark towards the middle of trading, however, settling down now. Concerns about the tapering back of US Federal Reserve monetary policy, this huge $83 billion monthly bond buying program, weighing heavily on Asian markets. There are some big sell-offs we can see across the board. The Nikkei currently down around 7%. Okay, let's time now for a look at some companies' news. And Swedish furniture maker IKEA has called back thousands of its children's beds because of a design fault. Several people who bought bunk beds in the Critter and Sneegler lines have said a metal part came loose and exposed sharp edges. Although no one's been hurt yet, the callback's been issued across 17 countries. Customers are being offered a refund or a repair kit.
Profits have slumped at computer maker Dell. The US firm saw second quarter net income fall 72% compared to the same period last year. The firm has been struggling amid reduced demand for personal computers. Board members are meeting this Friday to discuss withdrawing the company from the New York Stock Exchange.
And the world's largest cosmetics group, L'Oreal, is finalising a friendly Chinese takeover. The French firm has offered 630 million euros for skincare company Magic Holdings International, which makes masks and creams for at-home facials. China is L'Oreal's third largest market, behind the United States and France.
Just got time for one last story, and that is in Canada, where residents of Montreal have got some good news if they want some food on the go. Good food on the go.
Absolutely. Now, this is precisely, you say, it's the good food on the go, which is key here. This is this growing trend we've seen in many capitals across the world for restaurant quality food at more sort of fast food prices, if you will. These are these food trucks that until now have actually been banned in Montreal. 27 temporary trading permits have now been issued for vans like the ones you're seeing on your screens. And it's really a massive trend. There's been a lot of excitement about this in Montreal, but not amongst the local restaurant owners. Let's take a listen.
They don't pay sales taxes because all the transactions are in cash. It's also very cheap for them to get a license. They're registered to operate on the outskirts of the city at a much lower tax rate, but do business downtown, where the market is much more lucrative.
Can't please all of the people all of the time, apparently. Katerina Vittozzi, thank you very much for that update from the business desk. You will be keeping us posted on the latest developments throughout the rest of the morning. A reminder, you can get any updates for the news that France 24 is covering on the France 24 website. That is www.france24.com. That's in English, French and in Arabic. There is a live blog of the events going on in Egypt. More news and headlines here at Live from Paris. Just after the break, do stay tuned.